Oh, damn. I got a show to do. I should probably stop messing with idiots on Twitter. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the show. I'm Ranting Monkey. Hope you guys are well. It is someday. I have no idea. 8:30 in the morning here on the East Coast in Michigan. Freezing cold outside. No traffic. There you go. Your news and weather's done for the day. How are you guys? Hope you're well. Man, it's cold out there. Yesterday was freezing. Oh my goodness. The wind coming out of Canada. Can we please nuke that damn place so I can be warmer? Had to go outside yesterday for reasons that are unimportant, but being out there is like, oh, why? Why do the gods hate me? And I remember I could have moved at any time, so it's probably still my fault. But I'm blaming the gods because it's easier than accepting responsibility. That's just how I roll. I was gonna do a show last night, guys. I really was, and I got a little bit tired. I'm like, oh, I'll just go lay down because I only sleep for a few hours anyway, right? So I lay down about 11:30, and I woke up at 7:30. Now I didn't sleep straight through. I kept waking up. I cramps in my calves all night long, but it felt like I'd only been there for a couple of hours, and I get this really ominous feeling that somebody's standing over me, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And so I wake up. There's nobody in there, and I'm like, okay. And I look at the clock, and it's 7:30. I'm like, holy crap! I should probably get up out of bed and get something done. So that's where we are. And we would have talked about this story last night. Big story coming out of Colorado. Well, maybe a big story coming out of Colorado. The Colorado Supreme Court has decided that Donald Trump cannot be on the ballot out there for the Republican primary. This isn't for the general election. This is just for the primary. And I guess I should have this at the top of the decision. There's a case out there. What is it? Anderson versus Griswold. Excuse me. And this is it. This is the decision itself. It is incredibly long. It's 213 pages. The opinion itself, I forget how many pages it is, but it's freaking long. The dissent is where I plan to spend most of my time, but we do need to look at one portion of this, because while they decided that Donald Trump cannot be on the ballot, they did say this: to maintain the status quo pending any review by the U.S. Supreme Court, we stay our ruling until January 4th, the day before the Secretary deadline to certify the content of the presidential primary ballot. If review is sought in the Supreme Court before the stay expires on the 4th, then the stay shall remain in place. Basically, this is saying, look, we're not saying he can't be on the ballot. We're not saying he can't be on the ballots indefinitely because it's going to go to the Supreme Court. Cryptic, thank you. Fuck Colorado and the people who made it into California. No, Cryptic, I don't know if you realize this, but you guys have gone worse than California because this shit didn't fly in California. And Hosper, thank you so much for that. Feminist, $12. Only you going live can pull me from watching Rakita's show. No pressure. I'll do my best to live up to that standard. Holy crap. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. Oh, that reminds me. Before I get back into the Trump thing, there's a birthday. Where was that? Oh, man. Michiru, I think is how you say that. Thank you for reaching out to me. Guys, if you do reach out to me and tell me it's your birthday, understand there's a good chance I'm going to forget. It's best to do it on the show if you can, so that I see it in real time. But if I see them, I will try to do them. So Michiru, this is for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michiru. Happy birthday to you. I probably butchered the hell out of that name because I can't say English names very well. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great one. I really, really do. I have another lighter dying. I need to get a new lighter. This is going to be a rough show with no. There we go. I can breathe again. All right, so let's talk about the case. There's a group of liberal shitheads who are going around the country and recruiting anti-Trump Republicans to challenge the ballots. There's one in Oregon. There's one in Michigan. I want to say one in Minnesota and this one in in Colorado. And the contention is that Donald Trump cannot run for president because of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which says anybody who's taken an oath of office to the United States, that part is important because you have to have already taken an Thank you. Yes, I know, and being here sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. You have to have taken an oath of office, and it actually says officers of the United States, and there's some contention about that, which we'll get to in a minute. But anybody who's already taken an oath of office to the United States, who is then guilty of insurrection or rebellion, or in providing comfort to those who are involved in insurrection or rebellion, are banned from holding office. This was the 14th Amendment is one of three amendments that comes out of the Civil War. We have the 13th, 14th, and 15th. You have the citizenship. You have the 14th, and you have the 15th with voting and stuff. So with this one, what it comes down to is that they were trying to keep people who used to be members of the United States government or members of the United States military, who then went and served with the Confederacy or worked within the government of the Confederacy, from ever holding office, which, by the way, most of them were pardoned for. It's not like they were never allowed to, that none of them ever held office again. They were allowed to, because this was just a way to keep rebellious people out of the government at the time. And trying to use it on Trump here is just asinine. It's fucking retarded. There is no question about whether or not members of the Virginia House in 1862 were members of the Confederacy. Virginia had seceded. They made up their own new government. It's on paper. There's no question. Here it's like, Donald Trump gave a speech, and even though the insurrection happened while he was still talking, his speech made it happen. There's no comparison to what happened in 1860 and what's happening in 2023, or what happened in 2020. This is nonsensical. It's fucking retarded. There was no insurrection. There was a protest, there was a riot, and that was it. The insurrection that overthrew the government, most of the people left by themselves. Most of them didn't do anything illegal except for walking in the wrong part of town. The vote that they stopped from happening happened that damn night. The Civil War wasn't a rebellion or an insurrection. It was a secession movement. Well, it was absolutely a rebellion. That's what led to secession. But the 14th Amendment changes a lot of things. And this comes up in the dissent, actually. The 14th Amendment puts the power of the government, the federal government, above the power of the state government in ways we hadn't seen before. And it also becomes this time where once you join the United States, you can never leave again, which is, it's actually the death of the republic. That was the death of the republic. No matter how much we fake it still, the idea that a member of that republic can't separate, that they're not their own sovereign land, that ended the republic. We're just one country now. One country under God, right? As opposed to of many one. It's no longer of many, it's just one. And yeah, it's the unfortunate consequence of the Civil War is that, well, many unfortunate consequences of the Civil War, but long-term effects of the Civil War is that statehood is mostly just a pipe dream these days. The fact that states are really any different than each other. I mean, everything gets forced through the Supreme Court these days, for the Supreme Court to tell everybody how they have to run their country, or their countries, their sovereign states. Excuse me. They're no longer sovereign states. They're just not. They should be. On paper, they are. But anyway, so the decision itself has been put off until the 4th, and a lot was made about this, like, oh, they're just being performative so they can get some headlines. The Colorado Supreme Court doesn't need to get headlines. They don't give a shit about that. This is in place because it's expected to go to the Supreme Court, and on the off chance it doesn't get through, then this automatically goes into effect on the 4th when the ballots have to be finalized. This is legalese, a way to almost force the Supreme Court to act faster than they might. So if the Supreme Court decides within the next basically 20 days, is it? What's today's date? Today's the 20th, right? So the next 14 days, 15 days, next 2 weeks. If the Supreme Court doesn't hear and decide on this, then this goes into effect. And the ballots will be printed. And at that point, even if the Supreme Court comes out and goes, hey, you guys can't do this, the ballots are already printed, getting ready for the votes. Now they could force them to redo it, I guess. We'll see what happens with that. But that's what this is. This is to force it. So Trump was somehow overthrowing the government he was still in charge of. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. That's their contention. Now, several things came in this case. First of all, we have some legal things to discuss, and I'm going to try to make this as everyman friendly, so that people can understand it at least as well as I think I do. How about that? Yeah, exactly, Jim. Over the next 2 weeks, with not just a major holiday, 2 major holidays. You have Christmas. The Supreme Court has 3 days off, not counting weekends in that time, because they have Christmas Eve, they have Christmas, and they have New Year's. They get holidays for all of those. Even if they fall on a weekend, the Supreme Court still gets a holiday for days. You know, like if Christmas falls on a Wednesday or on a Saturday, they still get like Friday off. So yeah, they have 3 holidays and 2 weekends in there. There's not a lot of time for this to be going through. But anyway, let's talk about the case itself. So let's talk about officers. No, let's talk about the overall legal aspect. Okay. The 14th Amendment, I should probably pull that up on the screen. Come on, Cornell Law, bring me my... I like going there when I'm looking for this stuff. I don't know why. There's just... I like the way they present it. All right. Bring the relative section on the screen here. It's right there. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president or vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a 2/3 vote of each house, remove such disability. So if you were guilty of this, you can't be president, but the Congress can vote to say, fuck that, we'll let him be president anyway, or congressman or whatever. So that's how it's written, and that's basically what it means. But you'll notice something, and we gotta get down to Section 5 real fast, because this is where the dissent really focuses, is this final part, Section 5. The Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. What that means is that when it comes time to decide who is ineligible, who specifically is ineligible, Congress has to decide that. Congress has to decide what insurrection is. Congress has to decide what is the penalty if you run for office and you aren't eligible under this. Should there be a penalty at all? That's all for Congress to decide. And for the record, for a while, there was a law about that. There was a law saying that if you ran for office, say you were a Confederate general or whatever, and you ran for office, you could go to jail for it. It was passed in 1870, and it was on the books until 1949, I think. It's either 49 or 48 or 49. What the Colorado Supreme Court decided is that you don't have to actually have been found guilty under law of anything, that you don't deserve due process before this becomes a thing. Now, again, when this is passed in 1868, I think that the 14th Amendment passed. This was clear case of, hey, these guys were part of the fucking rebellion. And I know somebody in chat's mad at me using the term rebellion. I'm probably going to keep using it. It's all right. But there was this wasn't a matter of, we need to go have a trial to see if they actually were a general. It's like, no, bruh, you have a picture. There were photographs back. There's a picture of you in a Confederate uniform on a horse, motherfucker. You actually killed my brother. You know what I mean? They were different times. This is a whole different situation. And what the dissenting judge said is that this is not an amendment that is immediate, that there actually has to be something else behind it. There has to be due process, because otherwise you can just say, hey, you did insurrection, and there doesn't have to be any actual proof of it. And that because of the fifth clause of the 14th Amendment, that all has to be decided by Congress, and it hasn't been. And this isn't even like case law. That they used an election code to try to do this to Trump. This wasn't an actual trial of criminal or civil issue. This was election code. We get to decide how elections are done. Well, you do, but you can't use the 14th Amendment like this. Now, here's the thing. I hope this thing gets thrown out by the Supreme Court, because it's trash. If they wanted to go through and charge Trump with insurrection and actually get him convicted of it, fine. I would think it was wrong, but at least then you did your due diligence. You did afford him due process of law. But what they're saying is they don't have to do that. No. Just because it says that, they get to decide whenever they want, for whoever they want, that what they did was insurrection, and therefore they're ineligible for being on the ballot. This is horrific. This is Banana Republic shit. This is coming from the people who've been chanting at us for 2 fucking years that democracy's in danger. And they're removing a guy from the ballot for the primary. This isn't even the general fucking election. From the primary. Removing him from the ballot because they decided. The insurrection in this case, the proof of the insurrection is that the judge in the original case went, yeah, there was some insurrection here. Donald Trump did insurrection. There was no trial about whether he did or not. And their argument is, well, we don't even need to have one. We don't even need to have one because this is a self-executing amendment. This is a self-executing amendment. Because he did the insurrection, we all watched the January. They allowed, this is true. They allowed January 6th committee evidence into this to decide, yes, he was guilty of insurrection. You know, January 6th, the people who literally did a Hollywood production to make it as defaming as possible, the people who hid relevant information, those guys, the people who used one of their days to talk about Josh Hawley running, that was used as evidence in this case. And they're like, no, see, that's enough. Yeah, insurrection. This is a horrible case. But if we're being honest, guys, I don't trust our Supreme Court to decide properly on this one. I really don't. I don't know that they have enough time to decide properly on this one. And we may end up with a case where they show deference to the states in a way they normally wouldn't. Specifically, the liberals on the court, Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh and that fucking retard Roberts. For the people who love democracy so much, have you guys noticed they don't talk about democracy all that much anymore? Their chants of democracy have gone way down. They trot it out every once in a while. Like, yeah, no, we still believe in democracy. Democracy? Yeah, that's what we're going with. I told you guys when they started saying it over and over and over again that this was cover. This was them going, we are going after democratic stuff. Because they don't actually want democracy. Democracy gives you Trump. If the vote were held right now and you let everybody run, Trump still wins this. If you let all 5 of the Republican candidates in, you let Biden in, you have Jill Stein and Robert Kennedy Jr., you let all these people in, you know who wins this election? Donald Trump. You take it down to Donald Trump and Joe Biden, you know who wins? Joe Biden loses in Mondale-esque ways. He'll win California and New York. That is why they're doing this, is because Trump is going to kick their asses as of right now. Like Ricada said, if Colorado can do it, what other states will follow? Well, most of the other states this has been in, it's been shot down. In Michigan, it was shot down, and it's at the appellate court right now because the The Michigan court said what I just said. You can't do this to him without due process, and it's up to Congress to decide this, not the state legislature or the state court systems. This is a legislative branch decision, not a judicial branch. It's just not. So it'll be interesting. Did you see Vivek's response? I absolutely did. I saw a clip, and then I read a snippet, and then I read his full thing, and then I watched his video on it. Are you really asking me if I saw what Vivek did? How dare you, sir? How dare you? I'm a super fan. I really am. I like Vivek. And Vivek, God bless him, man. Whatever God you believe in, may he bless Vivek Ramaswamy, because he didn't even hesitate. Vivek Ramaswamy comes out, and I'm paraphrasing here, but this is what he said. This is fucking bullshit. If Colorado doesn't reinstate Trump, I'm taking my own name off the ballot, and those other fucking pussy-ass Republicans should do it too. Now, I'm a little more coarse in my language than he is. A little bit more. We can watch what he said. Let me find it and pull it up here, because I did not prepare for the show at all. I gave myself 45 minutes and I didn't prepare. I was fucking around on Twitter instead. Because the Krasensteins, man, they set me up so easily all the time. I don't know why they do it. I think they know I get bored and they're like, Monkey needs something to make fun of. So I was doing that. So let's see. Here is Let me get that all set up. We're still sharing tabs. Yes, there we go. All right. So this is Vivek. We're not going to read his statement. He basically says the same thing he says here, and this way I don't have to read.
They have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution.
True.
This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed.
Actually, hang on one second. Let me, because I'm going to close the court opinion. I'm going to throw it into chat for you guys if you want to read it yourself. It's 213 pages, a lot of legalese, but at least have it as a resource. All right, let's get back to him.
Bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution.
Yep.
This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least.
And for the record, I want to stop right there and explain. I don't have a problem with Section 3 of the 14th Amendment being used properly. If there was an actual insurrection, if Donald Trump's leading a charge with his musket over his head, then sure, okay, I get it. But that's not even close to what happened here. So while this is kind of dependent on the Civil War, it doesn't mean that there's never going to be a time when that matters again, right? It doesn't mean that there's never going to be a moment where it's relevant. It's just not here.
This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on.
Yep.
The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States. That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored.
Now, at last I saw, none of the other candidates had gone ahead and done this as well. But I did see somebody say, why should DeSantis do it? Trump's been mean to DeSantis. True, he has been mean to him. But you know why why DeSantis should come out and go, fuck this, I'll withdraw my name as well? Because it's the right thing to do. Because this is a travesty. Ministry of Wrong Thing, thanks so much. This is illegal as heck, and they know it. The goal is to throw a wrench in him getting donations until the Supreme Court shuts it down. No, I think I hear you. I think that outside of the people in DC are convinced that Joe Biden is going to win this election. He's the greatest president that's ever lived. He's blacker than Obama. Outside of DC, there's a ton of Democrats who get it. I think Joe Biden loses to any of the other Republicans, including Christie's dumbass. But Biden's best chance is to run against anybody except Trump. And the people outside of DC know that. That's the people who actually can make things happen. They know that. And that it's really what this was for. And Colorado being Colorado, I mean, if you go to there was a story from the New York Post today telling us about the 4 judges who voted to do this. They have 7 people on their Supreme Court. It was a 4-3 decision. And it's amazing how many of them in their judicial ideology, their big thing is inclusion. They don't give a damn about law. It's all about inclusion. That is the Colorado Supreme Court. So the places that they took this, let's say Michigan and Oregon and I know there's at least 2 others. I want to say Minnesota and of course Colorado. They went to places with very liberal Supreme Courts. So, and even then, the courts that they've been to are like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong.
See, you know what? I've been talking about where Ron DeSantis is screwed up because so many people who just hate the man. Like, he screwed up everything. This is one of the places. Ron DeSantis had a perfect chance yesterday, as soon as this came out, to come out and go, this is wrong. This should not happen. I will not be a part of this. Fix it now. Me and Trump don't get along. We disagree. We're running against each other, but I want a fair fight. That would have earned him respect that he's not going to have another chance to get. And he dropped the ball. That should have been it. He should have beat Vivek at getting a message out.
And I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake. Whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country. Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors. That's not the right thing to do.
Well, here's the thing. You can celebrate privately. Be like, fuck Trump. But publicly, what you should be out there doing, you go, no, this is wrong. Because it is wrong. It's not immoral, I guess the word I'm looking for here, to see bad things happen to people you don't like and be like, you deserved it, dick. But you can still look at it and go, all right, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, I'd have more sympathy if it was somebody else, but this is still wrong. Yeah, fuck that guy, but this is wrong. And that's how they should be, but they're not, especially Christie. You know, Christie's fat ass probably had a heart attack last night masturbating to this.
I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump's name is restored. This belongs to the people, not to the unelected Democratic cabal of judges in Colorado or any other state. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie do the same thing, or else they're complicit in what this security state is trying to do to shut down Trump. I stand by that, and I expect them to do the right thing.
Now, what's going to be interesting is we have a debate coming up. It's in 26 days. This will have been settled by then, right? But this is going to be an interesting thing to see brought up at the debate. If did Christie actually say it was wrong? Wow, I'm shocked. But see, there you go. You can say, hey, I fucking hate this guy, but this is wrong. This is where I get accused of supporting so many people I clearly don't support. Like when they went after Bernie Sanders and it was wrong. I'm like, no, that's fucking wrong. Oh, you're a Bernie supporter. Like, no, I think the guy's a commie piece of shit. And I hope he's never in office ever again anywhere. But that people lying about him is still fucking wrong. We need more principle. We really do. And Republicans, look, you guys, not you in the audience who identifies Republicans, but those who represent you in Congress and in your state houses, these people desperately need fucking principles. They don't have any. Their principle is, please don't write a bad story about me. And that's just wrong. So the long and short of this is that right now, Donald Trump is not, or okay, technically right now, Donald Trump is allowed to be on the ballot in Colorado until the 4th, at which case he's no longer allowed to be on the ballot unless The Supreme Court steps in and says he can be on the ballot. Okay, do we all got that? Everybody understand what's going on now? We all up to he's on the ballot until he's not. If the Supreme Court doesn't intervene, then he's not on the ballot, and that is still a real possibility. It really is. Don't trust the Supreme Court. Not with things like this. When it's weird the way the courts work in elections, and we saw this in 2020 a lot. You know, all of those cases were like, oh, they challenged it and they lost. A lot of those cases, the judges threw the stuff out or decided based on things like, well, it's already happened. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope they get it right. I just don't have faith in this Supreme Court of getting this one right. Thank you, Ministry of Wrongthink. Vivek turned this into an attack ad against his GOP competitors. Dude definitely plays 4D chess. The dude is smart, man. I like Vivek. I said on Twitter, he's not perfect, but he's pretty damn great. And I'll stand by that. I mean, there's a couple of things that I have questions about with Vivek, but I really do wish he had a better chance of winning this thing. I might actually vote for a major party candidate if he was the Republican candidate. He's good. He's good at what he does. And if he disappears from political life after this, it's going to be to the detriment of the country. All right, let's move along, shall we? Oh, you know what? We're not quite done. We're not quite done. Wait. Speaking of Vivek, Dan Crenshaw, in response to Vivek saying that he would withdraw from this, says, maybe he should just withdraw from all the other states too. Dan, you're a douchebag, man. And I mean that. You had potential, but you're just like so many others. You have no real principles. That's some bullshit too, as the Supreme Court's probably already off until late January. No, they'll be in session today, actually. They're in session for the next 2 weeks, except for their holiday breaks, which they only get a couple of days each. There's still like, I think it's 10 working days or 8 working days that this could get done. But anyway, Vivek shot back. Maybe congressmen shouldn't be allowed to trade individual stocks. That's in reference to the fact that Dan Crenshaw's made a shit ton of money on the stock market since he's been there in the Congress. He's out there pulling a Nancy Pelosi. Don't worry, he's not using any inside knowledge that he gets from congressional hearings that the rest of us don't get to hear. No, he just got really good at guessing stocks since he was elected to Congress. Fucking douchebag. I'm all for people making money, but it's still got to be on the up and up, dickhead. All right, what else we got going there? Oh man, so many people talking about Vivek, and good. I'm glad he's getting some attention for this. I'm glad he's the one that immediately was like, yeah, bro. I kind of want to watch that one, but not right now. Do we want to do that one right now? No. Holy crap. I was on here a lot more than I thought. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, the completionist. Oh my goodness. Tall person, thank you so much. Morning, glad to catch this live. Happy National Sangria Day. We have a National Sangria Day? Isn't that a Spanish thing? Isn't that a Spanish drink? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You give Americans a reason to drink and we will take it. But we celebrate a battle in the Mexican War for Independence, right? That's what Cinco de Mayo is. It's not even the independence itself. It's just a single battle. And we're like, fuck it. We're going to drink for the Mexicans. America, we have a problem. We need to go get some help with our alcohol thing. But anyway, the completionist, we've talked about him. He's the one who was running the charity. And for some reason, they just sat on the money. And he came out and made a video defending himself the other day where, how do I want to put this? He doesn't exactly admit guilt as much as he kind of, how does he state it? I'm sorry if people feel that they were lied to. He lied to him. Yeah, he absolutely lied to people, told him that they had already donated money, and for some reason they're just sitting on that money. Well, he had a phone call. I'm going to throw this video into chat. Oh, I can't. I'll have to do it in a minute. He had a phone call where he was talking to the two guys who were questioning this. I think the guy's name's Jared, is that it? And Mudahar. And this call predates everything coming out, and only little snippets of the call had come out. Well, after this guy, Gerard, the completionist, comes out and makes his bullshit, I might sue you guys video, they're like, fuck it, we're going to release the entire call. And something is said in this call that absolutely blew my mind. So those of you who don't know, Gerard, the completionist, his mom died of Alzheimer's when he was far too young to have a mom dying of Alzheimer's, right? And so he starts this charity to raise money for Alzheimer's, and that's a great thing. Problem is they weren't giving any of the money to anybody, including the Alzheimer's Association, who they're saying, yeah, we were giving money to everybody. Tall person, thank you. Sangria is made with red wine and chopped fruits. Its origin is difficult to pinpoint, but is accepted as originating in Spain or Portugal. See, I was close. Spain or Portugal. On this phone call, I hear one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. Gerard says, and my friend Omegans, who's on the screen right there, he says this is actually a point worth considering. But Gerard says that the Alzheimer's Association told him, don't give us a small donation. You come back, you give us a big donation. We take big donations around here. What? What? A charity was like, sorry, bruh. You're only giving us $1? No. You keep your poor money. You keep your poor money. You come back to us with 6 figures. Bullshit. No charity is out there going, look, man, if you're only going to give us a little bit, it's not that every little bit helps. It's only really, really, really big donations that help. And here's the other thing. You don't have to give this money to them in some kind of a major way. You could have just gone to their website and gone, let's say that what he's saying is true. Let's say he claimed it had to be a big amount for a restricted donation. Well, here. You can just go to their website and say, I want to donate $10,000. Bam, $10,000 done. That's it. The idea that this charitable foundation who's raising money to try to fight this horrific disease is like, nah, bruh, I need your bigger paycheck. I need that big paycheck. You poor people ain't worth it. Is nonsense. And if they had, then the right thing to do would have been like, you know what, guys, we're raising this money. What we want you to do is go over there and donate yourselves. That is why. Why would you want it to restrict it? Yeah. There's so many questions about this. And if you listen to the phone call, it is amazing how he responds to this. Because he tries to guilt them. Like, oh, look, man, I know this is going to come out. I'm trying to get away from content creation. This is going to ruin everything. I got 20 people who work for me, and I have to go tell them that this is going to ruin everything because you guys are going to do your video. You're going to do your video, right? It is so pathetic. He's the victim here. He's the victim, not the people who have been waiting a fucking decade to get money promised to them by him so that he could get clout for what a good person he is. I didn't realize he's the same guy from G4 until I listened to this audio. And he mentioned, with the G4 stuff. Oh, you're that fat bastard that was there as Frost was sitting there talking shit and you're nodding along. And she's like, yeah, you guys just don't like me because I'm an ugly chick. I had not even put those two together because I didn't watch a lot of G4 and I don't watch The Completionist. But then it's like, oh, yeah, that is that fat, stupid bastard. Which is, yeah, you tell him, girl. Shut the fuck up. You deserve everything bad that comes to you for this because you just done the right thing. they talk on there about like, what can he do now? What do you want me to do? Give the money where it's supposed to be going, you fucking dick. And then he finally does. The only silver lining on this is that the $600,000 that we know was there did finally go to a charity, and that's great. But there's still questions about where other money is and why it took this fucking long. And the simple fact of the matter is, this is charity fraud. It is charity fraud. He repeatedly made false claims to raise money. And whether you're stealing that money or not, that's fraud. You can't go out there and go, I got shot, give me $100, and then you spend that money on a medical bill. Yeah, I got shot, I got medical bills, I need your money. And then you spend it on a medical bill for when you had your tonsils out, because you're lying to people about why you needed that money. That's fraud. You can't do that. He's like, this is going to ruin me. It should. You're guilty of fraud. Hate these fucking people. And I think it was Mudahar in the audio who makes mention of, this is going to make him look at every other streamer who he has supported with charity and eye them with caution now. I've been that way for a long time. I've seen way too many people defrauding folks online because it's easy to pull people's heartstrings. Cryptic, thank you. His group, Normal Boots, all have drama. I'm not shocked. I've seen way too many people, and this goes way back to before I was on YouTube, back even before I was blogging, but you'd have people like, I have cancer. People would give them a ton of money, and then it would turn out they didn't. I am very wary of anybody raising money online like that. And if you're going to do it, you need to provide receipts and stuff. You need to be like, here, this is what you guys did to help me. If you guys want, I'll take a picture of the heater that I have. Anyway, although technically I didn't fundraise for that. You guys were just very, very kind to me, and I appreciate it. But if you're going to take other people's money for a specific thing, it needs to go to that specific thing. And fuck that guy. I'm glad bad shit's happening to him. Came out now that Senator Cardin's office, he's the one who's, let's call him Little Twink, was getting, how can I put this? We're on daytime television now, so was getting rump loving in the Senate chamber. It turns out that they knew this guy was kind of a degenerate scumbag. I told you guys this yesterday. There's no fucking way they did not know what was going on with the guy. There's no way. In today's climate, right? There's no way that they are not going deep dive into people's stuff. And it's said that the worst of what he shared, wait for this part because it's great. The worst of the stuff that he shared, he only shared with his friends, with his close friends. You guys want to take a guess on how many close friends he had? 1,000. He had over 1,000 close friends that he was sending horrible shit to. There's absolutely no way that didn't leak. And we know that because of a tweet he sent himself. It says, Chief of Staff just promoted me and in the same breath suggested I tone down my social media. Huh. It's almost like they had a prior reason to believe he was a degenerate scumbag. And instead of firing him for, you don't even have to fire him. Be like, look, we just got to part ways. We're going to let you go. You've done great. We enjoy your work. We'll see y'all next time. You don't have to give any reason. Just be like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. And what you're really doing is covering the senator. Being like, Senator, you cannot be seen in public with this guy. He's out there taking naked pictures of himself saying he's waiting in the bathroom for Lindsey Graham. But it's okay because it's leftist degeneracy, and that is always all right. You can't go wrong with leftist degeneracy. I really want to watch this girl. All right, we're going to watch this girl. I don't know what the music is, so I'll probably end up with a content claim over it, but I don't give a shit. This is one of the most asinine things I've seen in my life. I don't know when this is from. I don't know how old it is. I don't know if I've even seen it before. But dear God.
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you?
Okay, before we move on, this is the Whatever podcast, and I just have to say again, women, why do you go on this show? Are any of the women who've gone on Whatever podcast and been embarrassed for being retards actually big now? Have any of these people had a blow up moment? Even the ones who weren't like massively retarded. Any of them had a standout moment where suddenly they became major influencers because they went on this show? I didn't think so. But why do women keep going on here to embarrass themselves? It's like going on to Fresh and Fit, and I'm not bashing Fresh and Fit right now. I'll do that eventually, I'm sure. I showed you that. Yes, you did, Satsu. How you doing? Dude, I forgot to turn the server off last night. I have no idea what it looks like right now. But anyway, women who go on Fresh and Fit, all they do is get embarrassed. All they do is get talked down to, told how stupid they are, how ugly they are. None of them go on there and come away from it with some like major win. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go get humiliated for 2 hours or 4 hours or however long their show is. I'm going to go get humiliated for several hours. But at the end of it, I get a million followers on Instagram and can sell makeup. No, that's not what all they ever do is go back to being the dirty whores they were before they came on the show. They have their tiny little OnlyFans accounts and that's it. But anyway, that's just my side. So this is the Whatever podcast.
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny? What?
That's not a hard question. How do you define misogynistic? And she's stumped right now, but this is actually the best part of it. If all that happened was she was a little bit stumped by it, no big deal. I can't really articulate it. You know what I mean? But no, this gets much worse.
I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
She's crying. She's crying. Her chest hurts. Can
I go?
Can I go?
Are you okay? Like, do you want to go as in leave?
Can I please go home? Why is she acting like it's a ransom video? What the fuck? Can I please go home? Are you for real, lady? You are so traumatized by somebody asking you for a definition of an insult you just threw at them that you start crying and can I please go home?
If you want to leave, you can leave. I was hoping we could continue having a conversation, but I mean,
does anybody know who that chick is? And I'm not saying go harass her. I want to go see her content as long as it's not on OnlyFans. Like if she's a Twitch streamer or something. I would really, really, really like to follow her and see the rest of the insanity that is that woman. She was asked to define misogyny. That's not even a hard one to define. But the problem is that these kids today, and she is a kid, she's not that old, she can't be 25. They're taught that if there's any kind of pushback against you, that's what you do. You start throwing out sexism and racism and misogyny and phobiisms. Yeah, sure, fuck it, phobiisms. You just point to somebody and go, "You're a bad man. You're a bad hunky. You're a bad Jew hater." You just throw out the thing, and then people are, "Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna challenge you anymore." Nobody's ever asked her to define it before. Yeah, you're probably not wrong, Satsu. By the way, if you're bored, dude, I'll toss you a link and come hang out. We haven't hung out on this show in a long time, but it's actually amazing to me watching that and just seeing it in practice. That all she had to do was give a simple definition. You can look up the fucking definition of misogyny. I'm sure she had a phone. There's no way a girl that young doesn't have a phone. She's not like a 98-year-old grandma. Even 98-year-old grandmas have phones these days. She was just told to use the word and it would solve her problem. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because they don't have to think anymore. This is the same thing as what we've been talking about lately, guys, with the conspiracy theory. People say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Not because they have any comeback to anything or that the conspiracy theory is wrong. It's to stop the discussion. See, if you just say it, then, oh, well, yeah, it's conspiracy theory. Yeah, we got to throw that out. Well, if somebody says, hey, you're a misogynist. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can I treat you like the queen that you are? Can I? It's so annoying. So annoying. But that's what people are taught. And it's what you see every day in the press. I mean, if somebody's out there, look at they're a racist. Well, what'd they say? They said black people should be treated like everyone else. Oh, that son of a bitch. I'll never listen to him again. What a racist piece of shit. Ugh, I hate these people. I don't care about that person. Oh, we got some immigration to talk about. We got some immigration to talk about because we have another mayor from a city who wants to be a sanctuary, who talked all kinds of big bullshit. And now that they're having to deal with the problems of immigration, suddenly it's an issue. Out. And can I just ask why they keep getting funky looking people to be their mayor? Lori Lightfoot looked like Beetlejuice had been left in the sun. And I don't mean because of her dark skin. I mean because of how wrinkled and dried up she was. She looked like a raisin. She looked like raisin Beetlejuice. This guy, I don't mean to be mean here. He looks like there's a chromosome missing or extra or something. He looks retarded. And I'm not using that in the, oh, you're so retarded kind of way. I mean, if you just showed me this, I would think you were showing me somebody who was like getting an award for his participation in the Special Olympics.
The issue is not just how we respond in the city of Chicago. It's the fact that we have a governor, an elected official in the state of Texas that is placing families on buses without shoes, cold, wet.
Wait. When did they stop having shoes? I've seen tons of migrants coming over the border and illegal immigrants. The programming started to got to me. It's starting to get to me, and I got to stop doing that. The illegals coming across the border, they all seem to not only have shoes, but pretty nice shoes most of the time. They're usually dressed pretty decently. They're not dirty for somebody who just walked the entire length of Mexico. You'd think that, I mean, even Forrest Gump was a little dirty by the second cut of him running across the country, right? How is it they always look so fresh? How is it they don't have tattered clothing? There's not even like a frayed collar on any of these motherfuckers. They're wearing like brand new Nike hoodies. But yeah, now they're being delivered to Chicago without shoes, and they're cold and wet. They put them on a bus, cold and wet, in Texas. All right. I mean, I guess it's getting cold and there's a little bit of wetness down there right now. I mean, I am on the air. It's just natural that there's wetness out there. Cryptic, thank you so much. Deport them all, even my cousins. There you go.
Tired, hungry, afraid, traumatized.
All right. Once again, I have to go to the video. Have you guys seen these people getting on the buses and on the planes? I mean, we just watched the video yesterday of the Delta flight that Ashley St. Clair's still losing her mind over. She's really trying to die on that hill. Delta, how can you be so complicit with this? Shut up. But you ever seen any of these guys who actually look like they came from somewhere horrible? Other than the fact like, oh, you're from Mexico? That place is a shithole. None of them look like they're coming from the slums of Mexico. But anyway.
Then they come to the city of Chicago where we have homelessness, we have mental health clinics that have been shut down and closed.
There's no homelessness in Texas. No homelessness. It's only in Chicago. Fucking retard. It's so bad that when Biden goes down to El Paso, they had to sweep out the homeless encampments, which, by the way, are mostly illegals. But hey, we have homeless people.
You have people who are seeking employment.
You have people looking for jobs. Can you believe that? They're bringing people in looking for jobs. Okay, I want to go back. He actually is retarded. I'm convinced. He looks retarded because he is.
The governor of Texas.
And he's sporting a faux hawk as a black man. Bruh.
Needs to take a look in the mirror of the chaos that he is causing for this country.
In Chicago. The chaos he's causing this country in Chicago.
This is not just a Chicago dynamic.
Oh, it's not?
He is attacking our country.
Wait. He's sending illegals to you, and that's an attack on our country. Exactly, P-Dog. Who's causing the problems for the country? Yeah. You know, P-Dog, I'm tossing you a link. I know you're probably busy, but if you're not, come hang out, dude. We haven't talked in forever either. And if you can't, you need to come hang out with me another day anyway, or I can come hang out with you if you prefer. Because, yeah, we haven't got to talk for quite a while. And I like my friends and like to talk to them. If Satsu can or can't make it, that's great. But we talked last night. I ain't talked to you in forever. So hang on, y'all. I got to send P-Dog this. And again, no pressure. Bring your ass on. No pressure, homie. I'm just inviting all my black friends today. I just want to prove I have more than one so that liberals won't think I'm racist. There we go. There's me sending P-Dog the link. You guys can try to copy the link if you want to, but you can't get in without my say so. So there you go. All right. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I hope she has fun. I hope you guys have a good time. Sorry, just answering Satsu in chat there. He's going to a recital for his daughter. That's awesome. That's a good dad. That's how you keep her from becoming a stripper later in life or a liberal. And you need to avoid both of those things. Go to your daughter's recitals, gentlemen. Frank, thank you so much. Destroying the country by supporting the guy's political statements. He can't not see that, right? Yeah. The guy's retarded, I'm telling you. He's actually retarded. See. No, wait. Man, so much of this Vivek stuff. I didn't realize I'd reposted so much of that. That's on me. I'd also keep scrolling past this picture of the ambiguously gay duo in their dick car because I sent that to the Krasensteins. Yes, because I find that funny. Leave me alone. Let's talk about some drama, shall we? Because that's what I do. We have a couple of drama things going on. Destiny, whose wife recently left him what can only be described as a Democratic Senate aide, reached out to him and told him that if he was a moral person, he'd give her $100,000. I don't know how. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but it was true love. She didn't want anything from me. Content creators out there, stop, and I mean this, banging your viewers. This is what happens, okay? Stop banging people that you meet online who are only doing it because you have a name online. They would have never looked at you in the grocery store. Steven, I don't mean this to be mean, but you're like 6 inches short of being a midget. What are you, like 5? What's a midget? 4'10", right? And he's like 5'4". You're a tiny little man. There's nothing masculine at all about you. You look like you painted on your beard and you probably should be peeing in a playground somewhere. And I'm not being mean. It's just, I mean, look at you. The reason women like you is because you have clout to give. You have money. And that's great. I'm not taking that away from you. But go find a woman who doesn't know who destiny is. Because the ones who do are going to be coming at you because you're destiny, not because there's anything actually attractive about you. No offense. See, I can make anything better by just saying no offense. Donald Kent, thank you. Are these Mexicans like 7 Spanish angels? Merry Christmas, brother. Thank you so much for that feminist $12. Don't make me sing 7 Spanish angels. I knew she'd leave him. We all knew. We all knew that this thing was going to fall apart. There's only a handful of idiots out there who actually think polygamous relationships or polyamory relationships or open relationships work, because they never do. But no, you're going to be the one that changes everything. But yeah, now, if you were a moral person, you'd give me $100,000. Bitch, you left him for another man, and if he was moral, he'd give you money? Fuck is wrong with you? You say that, yet every rock star in the 80s became one so he could fuck his fans. True. But they didn't marry him in most cases, and the ones who do, usually they ended up, giving him a lot of money, mostly for child support. How many of those marriages are still together now, Jim? It's one thing to go out there. If Destiny was just banging his fans, I mean, that's bad enough, because I still don't think you do that, because you're going to end up catching a charge somewhere from somebody looking for that. You need to make sure you document everything, which he's Destiny and he is autistic. And I'm not saying that as a mean thing. I think he's even said he's been diagnosed, but if he hasn't, that dude clearly is on the spectrum. He would document everything he says he has. I have no reason to disbelieve him. But if you're just banging him, that's one thing. It's hooking up with him and bringing him into your house and all right, ladies, this is going to probably make somebody mad. You treat a hoe like a hoe. You don't wife a hoe. You just don't. She's not a hoe. She just left him for another dude's dick. All right. I don't know what to tell you. The other one is Hunter Avallone, our old friend Hunter. He put out a video explaining the situation. He put out a video explaining and calling out all the people who said bad stuff and how they're wrong. And he shows pictures from inside the house, and he shows the blown out window from the shooting. And he finishes it by telling us that they need money so that they can move. And because, his address got out there. And it's one of the few times that I don't often comment on videos that I watch. If I have something nice to say, I might. Or if I see something really egregious where somebody got something wrong, I'll just, hey, this part you got wrong. I did that with a Red Dead 2 video the other day where somebody just completely missed so many things. I wasn't mean, just like, this is what you missed. But the kind of shit you guys see me do on Twitter, I don't typically do on YouTube, because I just don't care that much. I'll come on here and make fun of them rather than, commenting. But the simple truth of the fact is that if we take everything he says at face value, right, then from the beginning, he's been milking this for clout. Literally, while he's still on the phone with the police, he was like, I can get famous from this. He wasn't recording it for use in a trial. We wasn't like, hey, I'm recording this so that if the police need this evidence, it was to show the people. And he even asked her, are you recording? This was all for clout, and he's been doing it ever since. The only reason anybody knows this happened, the only reason anybody knows that his address is out there, is because he told everybody. He's not fucking PewDiePie. He's Hunter Avallone. Nobody would have gave a shit. His name is not even in the article that he tweeted out talking about the shooting. But I gotta leave you guys. I got doxxed. That's you. I have no sympathy for you on that front. Seriously. But even worse, and the part that really bothers me, is he plays up the fact that she claims that she was abused. And I look, this guy came to the house with a gun. I'm willing to believe there was some abuse going on there. The other day, he's on a show called Chud Logic. He calls in because Chud Logic says that if it were him, he would just take time off of the internet and get his life in order. He would go deal with this shit offline. And they thought it was really stupid that Hunter was out there arguing with Twitter accounts that have 60 followers and making a big deal out of this instead of just dealing with it and moving on. And so Hunter calls in like, hey, but people are saying, says, I think we should stop talking about it. Maybe we should, we need to stop talking about this. And Hunter shuts that down. And then he goes and makes this video, blasting it out again, assuring that more people are going to talk about it, that it's going to keep going. He is taking the trauma that they've just both been through, that she's really traumatized. This is a guy she was with for 11 years. So even him being dead, there's feelings there. She's feeling some stuff about this. And he's using her pain for his clout. He is mentally abusing this woman for clout. Jesus fucking Christ. You are a bad person. My favorite part is he tells how this all went down. And that his landlord says there's somebody at the door to see him, and they think it might be Connor, but they go downstairs to be sure. Instead of just calling the police outright, right? They've caught this guy putting trackers in her luggage so that he could find him. That's the official story. And maybe that's true. I have no idea. But you have this guy who you're saying tracked her by hiding tracking devices in her luggage. You're told he's downstairs at a door that can't be opened without you guys doing it. And you walk down there to this glass door. He says he opens the door and he sees Conrad and he immediately closes it. And she comes running and she puts herself between him and her. And she yells, "Go upstairs, go, run, Hunter, run," like Jenny from Forrest Gump. And he says, for people who are questioning that, if you look at the active shooter manuals, they tell you should split up for safety. But then they meet up together on the back porch. I guess you only run for safety when there's a woman blocking the door for you. That's when it's the best. I mean, if you're trying to survive an active shooter drill, yeah, it's kind of the old joke, two guys are in the woods and the bear comes running and the one stops to tie his shoe. And he's like, you can't outrun a bear. And he goes, I don't have to outrun a bear. I just have to outrun you. And that's what it is. Hunter Gump there goes running up the stairs. And then they hide on the back. He explains why they're hiding on the back porch there and why Holly's looking through this glass fucking window when there's a guy with a shotgun. And it's like, she was looking so she could see if he came in so that he could immediately know where you both were. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You should have been hiding. I'm fairly certain there's no active shooter drill that says, make sure that if the shooter if the shooter turns a corner, he can see you plain as day. Look, Hunter, I'm glad you're okay. I really am. I'm glad that the only person who got hurt here was Holly got a little bit of superficial wounding, but the only person who was killed here was the would-be murderer. That's great. I'm fine with that. I do not wish death on Hunter or anybody around him. But the way you've been acting since is disgusting. You're a piece of shit. You are using the pain that you supposedly felt and the pain that she says she felt, that she's asked you to stop talking about, to get clicks. This could have all been very personal. You didn't have to tell anybody about this, but you saw the opportunity. Nobody listens to me for the shit I say. Maybe they'll listen to me because somebody tried to shoot me. It's despicable. It really is. It's pathetic. And I hope you step on Legos every day for the rest of your life, because Jesus Christ, you're a douchebag. He really is too. I do not like that guy. I think that's most of what I want to talk about today. I'm fairly certain that's my only stories that I cared about. That doesn't mean we're done. I will be playing some Kerbal after this if I can. Kerbal Space Program 2 finally has their For Science update, and that's where they add basically a campaign to it. And I've been waiting for this, and it released yesterday. I played for a while. Oh, it's so much fun. I remember when you clowned on liberals, then stopped when the money dried up. Oh, with Hunter, yeah. Hunter, I don't know what Hunter believes. I really don't. I think he thought it would be easy to just become Vouch. I think he thought that would be a really great way to go get money. I don't know. There's rumors that his ex-wife is the reason they became such a little bitch. I don't know, or soon to be ex-wife. I don't think they're actually divorced yet. I don't know if he believes in anything. I do know that he's really bad at what he does, and he's kind of a douche. You know, he's not a douche. P-Dog, what's up, my friend?
Hey, what's happening? I can't find where I'm at here. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I'm not even looking at that. Okay, what's up? How you doing, man?
Living the dream. Trying to stay warm in Michigan.
I hear you. We actually got a warm, kind of a heat wave today. It's like 31 degrees or something.
Ours is supposed to heat up over the next couple of days. It's supposed to be like in the 40s for Christmas here.
Yeah.
So yesterday was the worst of the days we were supposed to have, and it's supposed to get warmer. And again, by Michigan standards, that means 40.
Yeah. No, I know. I know how you feel. I know where I live.
Devin Knox, thank you. I think Twitter has shadow banned me. I can't see notifications or replies, but I can still post. Wait, you can't see notifications? When you're shadow banned, you should still be able to see notifications from other people. It's that other people can't see you. That sounds like something else is going on with your account. I would reach out to him, honestly. P-Dog, how's things been going? What you been up to lately on your show and such?
Well, I've just sit on my show. I was going to talk about Colorado too. I've got a whole bunch of articles I got to go through on that. But I just talk about the news of the day, whatever's happening. I mean, the one sometimes I can't remember what I talk about day to day, though. It's kind of funny. But the one thing that is totally out of the politics and social stuff was, did you see the volcanoes in Iceland? The volcano thing?
No, volcano activity?
Oh yeah, there's a volcano erupting in Iceland.
Damn,
spewing out all kinds of carbon, and will be blamed for some of the more of the global warming shit. But it's just cool. Well, there's a bunch of videos of it on Twitter, and I thought that was cool. And also the guy, what's his name, Jonathan Majors, getting fired from the Kang from Marvel movies, whatever, because he had the assault charge on his. It was weird because
did they fired him?
Yeah, they dropped him.
Oh,
because he was found guilty on one of the charges, but it was weird because it was. I gotta look at that again. So he was convicted of what? Something like an unintentional assault. Let me find it here because it was a weird. Okay, here it is. The jury acquitted him of 2 of the counts: intentional assault in the 3rd degree and aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. But he was convicted of an unintentional assault, because have you seen any of this? Have you seen any of the video of this? They have video of it.
No, I haven't. I knew the case was going on and that this had been kind of a headache for Marvel, and I'm shocked they actually fired him with charges that minor. Looking at this story right here, what's it say? The charges that he was convicted on was 1 count of reckless assault in the 3rd degree. That would be the accidental assault, and a non-criminal charge of harassment.
Which, here's the thing, though. Harassment.
Wait, but before we get there, how the fuck you get found guilty of a non-criminal charge?
Exactly. And also, so reckless assault, but not, there's also charge of intentional assault.
Yes, and that's the one that was...
Reckless assault is your woman hit you and you hit her upside the head, basically. Is it like you retaliated? So what? Because I don't understand. Because then everything I've read about it, she kind of attacked him first. This is kind of an Amber Heard thing, but he actually hit her back and apparently accidentally broke her finger. But the video, she's the one chasing him down the street after this happens.
Yeah, but see, this comes down to our society, man. I mean, I've talked about that Florida case so many times where the Florida quarterback gets hit by a woman in a bar and he hits her back, and he's the one that suffered repercussions.
Right. He's the one who gets the the charge.
He got kicked out of school. He lost any chance of being a starter in the NFL because of all of that. And yeah, all he did was defend himself. But it was a woman who hit him, so you're just supposed to take that.
Yes, and so apparently she was in this Jonathan Majors case. She's trying to take his phone. She gets in the car, starts hitting him. He hits her back, and somehow breaks her finger. And then he's trying to get away from her, and she's still chasing him down the street. It's just weird.
No, now that you mention that, I might have seen that because what you're describing that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird.
I'm just shocked because he is pretty major to the storyline that they've been setting up in the MCU. And they have enough problems with lack of attendance for their movies, and now they're going to take out their major villain.
Well, yeah, he is supposed to be the next big villain.
Over this?
Yeah. And so they've fired him. And let's see. Marvel drops Jonathan Majors after.
Real quick, Devil's Advocate says unintentional assault because while trying to grab his phone, he caused injury.
Right.
So he's trying to grab his phone back from her, and from the sound of it, he probably reached for it. Her finger gets hit, probably by like the palm of his hand or something. Breaks. Give him his shit back.
Yeah, why you still got his stuff?
It's his.
Oh, it's funny. It's sad.
It is. And
people, a lot of people are out there comparing it to like, who's the Ezra? What's his face? DC kept Ezra Klein. He had some charges against him, and also they're comparing it to Amber Heard, like she gets convicted, but they kept her in Aquaman too. But remember, those are DC. Those are DC franchises. DC works a little different. They like their abusers and especially when they're intentional abusers. See, if you're an accidental abuser, Marvel's going to get rid of you. But if you're an intentional abuser, DC says, well, you can do better than that.
Well, and it's also two very different things in that if you take the Aquaman thing with Amber Heard, they cut pretty much all of her out of it. She's barely in that movie.
Yeah.
And then with like Ezra Klein, they had spent so much money on that. It was at a point where it's like, either we throw this in the trash and just take the hit on it, or we release it and try to make at least something back. And in the case of Ezra, he hadn't been found guilty of anything by the time this happened, by the time they released the movie and everything. What they did do is hide the fuck out of him, though.
Yeah. Well,
they were like, yeah, we're not going to let him talk to anybody. We're going to Joe Biden his ass. No, this is fucked up. I don't understand how you fire him over this.
I don't either. There's enough, even if he gets, but part of it, I think, doesn't he might have to do a little pokey time though. I didn't see that. I'm not sure.
Does this tell us what the possible? Here it goes. Are you ready for this?
No.
The actor could face up to a year in prison for the assault conviction. He also faces a maximum of 15 days in jail and a $250 fine for the harassment. So he might have a year in jail.
A year in jail and the $250. It seems like that fine seems awfully small for a year in jail.
Well, that is for the accidental harassment, or whatever. However, I
think it's all stupid.
Non-criminal harassment. What the fuck does that even mean? I'm gonna have to look up that statute because I don't understand how you can be found guilty of something non-criminal.
I do not know. That's a crazy.
How you can be found criminally liable for something non-criminal? That's insane.
Well, is it a civil? Is it well, it wouldn't have to. It would have to be a separate civil suit for that, wouldn't it?
I mean, I guess you can have a civil part of a trial like that. I don't know. Look, not a lawyer here, so Nate the lawyer has a video that explains. Oh, cool, Red Caster. I'll check that out. Thank you.
We'll
Thank you.
let's check out Nate.
Yeah, I like Nate. He's a little wordy sometimes, but I do like Nate most of the time for legal explanations. He does a decent job. I disagree with him from time to time, and he's the lawyer, so he's probably right. But is what it is.
Even if I disagree with him, he explains things very, very well.
Indeed. Disney lost over $1 billion on films this year. It's a convenient excuse to drop him and change course.
Well, except that's not the course they need to change. The course they need to change is all the BS adding and subtracting weird things to movies, and because
they've up until this, I mean, they've given no indication that they were pausing on the Kang thing. You know what I mean? It's still part of where they're headed. They just had the Loki season 2 thing coming out. Kang is still. They're going to have to replace him. They're not. You can't just make the Kang storyline go away with as much as they've integrated it right now.
Yeah, it's weird too. And on that note of replacing him, okay, so if they can replace him, why can't they replace T'Challa?
Right? Or Iron Man?
I never understood that move at all. It's like, okay, so the guy dies. You can still replace him with you can have another actor play it. They replaced what's the
Rhodey?
Yeah, they replaced Rhodey. What was that decision about?
And that was just because they were actually cheating him out of money.
Oh, Don Cheadle?
No, the guy who played him first.
Don Cheadle.
If you say his name, I'll know it. I just can't remember it off top.
Yeah,
Clarence Howard.
No, not Clarence Howard. Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Thank you.
Terrence Howard. Yeah.
I was close.
You were.
Him coming out of Iron Man 1, him and Robert Downey Jr. is supposed to be getting certain amounts of money, and when Robert Downey Jr. blew up so big with Iron Man for Iron Man 2, they took money that was supposed to be going to Howard and gave it to Robert Downey Jr. instead. And he was like, nah, fuck this shit. And so he left.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you're playing the main character, you're playing the sidekick.
Yep. But I mean, it's what he was promised.
Terrence is a big name, though. I mean, I get it. But
and frankly, I think Don Cheadle, by the time he takes that role, is too old for it.
Yeah, kind of.
There are other black actors in Hollywood besides Don Cheadle and Eddie Murphy, guys.
There's a lot of them.
There's
a whole bunch.
A lot of them who are younger and could have played that role for you for a long time without looking like he's about to die in Endgame without being touched.
Yeah, he was looking pretty rough, wasn't he?
He was, man. What is he, in his 60s by that time? Don Cheadle's an old man.
Easy.
I'm just saying, look, man, I'm 48 and I say I'm an old man. Don't take it personal.
No, I know. I laugh though, because one of my favorite internet video clips is the little comedian saying, damn.
Yeah.
When he says he's 59. Damn.
Uh-oh. Why is my wife sending me a message like this? Typically it's to get my attention. Oh, never mind. I'll tell you that offline. Yeah, this is a weird way to go for Marvel. They've had a lot of issues. I mean, the Marvels just came out and it absolutely tanked. But wasn't even that tied into the Kang storyline?
Perchance, have you seen it?
No.
I'm curious just to see it.
It's very much the reason I still have not watched the original Doctor Strange. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. There's characters that I'm just not interested in.
Right.
And I am not interested in any of the Marvel's characters. Captain Marvel doesn't Miss Marvel doesn't. None of these people are appealing to me. They're like, all right, I guess. And it's not because they're women, guys. There's tons of things that I'm like that. I mean, Doctor Strange is the example I used to begin with. There's just, I'm not a big fan of Thor. I enjoyed the first movie, and I've seen all of one of the other ones, but not at one sitting. And then I've seen bits and pieces of the other, because the Thor mythology just doesn't grab my attention, you know. But I am curious to see if it's as bad as everybody said. The one thing I am interested, I mean, I kind of want to see it just to see how well the chick who's playing Miss Marvel does, because I've heard she did really well in it.
Yeah.
And compared to like Brie Larson, who's standing there like the plank of wood that she is as an actress.
Oh, she's
that girl
so bad.
She must be able to suck the chrome off a trailer hitch, because she is not a good actress. She Harvey Weinstein somebody to get a job, because she's not good at what she does.
No, she's not. She's just the most unappealing stage, screen presence ever.
Yeah,
like,
and it's really bad. They wouldn't have wanted to pay Fox what he was worth. Oh, for what, Jamie Foxx to play it? Is that who we're talking about? Yeah, it's 2X's, so I'm guessing Jamie. I could have seen. I don't know. When I see Jamie Foxx now, all I can see is Electro in the last Spider-Man movie. But anyway, dude, I know you got a show coming up, and I need to go do other stuff as well.
Oh, let me finish setting it up, and then I'll
okay.
Drop a link here. I'm in the middle. I'm setting it up while we talk.
We need to get together one time and have an actual show, whether, like I said, your channel or mine. I'm not picky, but
no, that'd be great. I absolutely love that. Whichever room we're in, it's always good. And I'll drop links here, because I'll start 10 minutes after we stop here.
She was amazing in Scott Pilgrim. I've never seen Scott Pilgrim. Does she play a aloof twat in that movie? Let me ask you this. Can she smile?
Yeah, everything she does is just stone. It really is bad.
It's like it's kind of like the people who think whispering is singing. It's like she thinks staring with a blank look on your face is dramatic acting.
Right.
I guess. Anyway, while you're getting that all set up, guys, I might be on the game channel probably in an hour or so, playing some Kerbal Space Center 2, Space Program 2, the new for science update. We'll go see if I can get some Kerbals killed. We'll see if Jebediah is not long for this world anymore. That poor bastard dies every time I play that game. It's okay. I haven't killed him yet in my offline playthrough, so it'll definitely happen online. But then again, in my offline playthroughs, if I screw something up, I restart it to do it properly.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Oh shoot, why does it say join the chat? Do I have to join? Oh, I'm not logged in to I'm not logged into Streamlabs. Hang on. Let me go open another window here.
Well, we can also drop the link to your channel while we're doing that as well.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, and I realized that I'm not even in the chat on yours, so I got to go do this. Hang on a second
here. I got your channel.
No, I got the link to the stream.
I know. I'm saying that we can put this in there in case you can't get your stuff set up.
Because here's the thing. There's what is there? 165 people here. All right, at least 100 of you need to just hit this link. I'll put some nice music on until I start, and we'll be good. My stream is starting.
Monk is just like the Soviet space program. Didn't the Americans kill more people than the Soviets did in their space program? What have we killed? Like 14 astronauts?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. I mean, well, if you count the Challenger.
What was it? Apollo 2 that burns? Yeah, Apollo 2 that burns up on the launch pad.
Right.
And then you have the Challenger in Colombia that both blew up. They killed a lot of people, man. They killed a lot of people. The Soviets hid theirs. I mean, maybe. I suppose so. I mean, they did beat us into space and everything. And then we just kept blowing people up. Don't get me started on the blowing people up in real life thing, because the NASA thing pisses me off. Because neither the Challenger nor the Columbia had to be destroyed like that. Right. And they knew in advance. They were warned in advance. They had the opportunity to not let it happen. In the Challenger's case, it was just that they didn't want bad publicity for putting off the launch for another fucking day. And with Columbia, they knew that something happened to the heat shield. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't let the astronauts go outside and take a look. They're like, nah, bro, it'd be fine. And it comes in and burns up on reentry because the heat shield was damaged. They could have sent up Endeavor to go get those guys.
Yep.
And instead they're like, nah, don't even look. It's nothing. It's nothing. The shit that we all saw fall off of it, no big deal. And granted, those of us who were just watching it, we didn't notice it. But when you watch it again and you know what happens later, like, oh, well, fuck. See, I told you guys not to get me talking about this shit. Damn it. True, the O-rings froze. Yeah, and they were warned about it. They were warned not to launch, and they were like, no, it'll be fine. It'd be fine. And if they just waited until it warmed up a little bit, those astronauts and that teacher would still be alive. They did it because they didn't want, oh my God, they didn't launch again. One more day is all they needed. Or even a few more hours was all they needed. You got your link out there yet, dude? Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah, I put it in the chat.
Anything? Do you want to give an official shill or what you did? Okay, already.
No, sure. My show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, and I'm starting about 10 minutes late because I'm here, and that's cool. Anyway, so yeah, just hit the link. I need 100 people from this show to come to my show, so hop on over right after Monkey closes this out. The link's in the chat.
I'll be gaming probably in about an hour over on Ranting Monkey Games. No, that's the YouTube one. On twitch.tv/Ranting Monkey. Twitch.tv/Ranting Monkey. The link is in the description, guys. Check that out. P-Dog, I mean, we didn't get to talk long, but thanks for joining me, man. Always a pleasure.
And we'll set some up soon. Good to talk to you too, and bye, Chad.
Indeed. Everybody take care of yourselves. We'll see y'all next time. Bye now. This is where I sing a dirty song at the end. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to keep it clean like my penis.